This is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Okay guys, so last night I went through all the comments on the channel and I was looking for like the most commented thing that people wanted to hear about, learn about, know about. So I saw that a lot of people commented about crystals and like different types of crystals, things we can do with them. So I'm going to do like a series on crystals where I'll like go down to the studio and grab a bunch of different types for different things. But I also saw that a lot of people wanted to know about like protection, cord cutting, entities, attachments, and things like that. So this video is just going to be about cord cutting, and then I'll do like another little one about what an attachment is, and then like what entities are, because I feel like they kind of grow from there. So we're just going to go with the cords, which I feel like is the basis of those other things in most instances, not all instances. But basically, we all have our 7 main energy centers, our chakras, and each one of those is inside of our aura. So we're like all protected about with our aura. But when we deal with different people, our auras bump into each other, and we also send like these little cords to each other. So sometimes your aura can get just like bumped and damaged with things, but every time you have a cord go to somebody from one of your energy centers, it's like putting little holes in your auric field. So sometimes they can be cords of love, and other times they be cords that kind of drain you. So it depends on the person, it depends on the experience, but it can happen no matter what, no matter who you're dealing with. And energy transcends space and time, so even right now, if you're over there being like, this bitch sucks, you're sending me negative cords. But you're also depleting yourself, so but seriously, like whoever you deal with, if it's not a cord of love, if it's not a cord of like, you know, goodness, it's gonna start to drain from you. But when you make these cords with people, it doesn't just like go away, like it goes with those people wherever they go. So say, you know, you have an argument with your parents in the morning or something, everywhere they go for the rest of the day, you're still connected to their energy. So if they're having other arguments, or they're still thinking negatively, or like in the back of their head, they're thinking little thoughts about you, they're draining you. Now say you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off. It's like, cord. Wherever they go, say they go home, they fight with their kids, and then they like turn on news and they're yelling at the TV, draining you. Say you're driving down the road and there's a little old lady walking down the street with a bunch of shit and you feel bad for her. Empathy cord, boom. So it's like really not like a bad cord, but you're still draining yourself because you're sending like your empathy off to this woman. You don't know where she's going, what she's doing. She could be, you know, a really bad person when she gets home and do really bad things. But regardless, everywhere we go, every person we interact with, everything we're doing, we're sending off cords. So a lot of times they come from the power center, and like people can try to take your power from you, or they, you know, inadvertently try to take your power from you because they think things and they kind of just do weird things. If they talk badly about you, you know, they're like they're trying to disempower you through those words that they're saying in regards to you. So you want to make sure that you're mindful of this, and then start implementing a practice to cut these cords daily, so that you're not being drained and depleted with every single interaction, you know, that you're acquiring over time. And that's why I said, like, if you don't do that, eventually it could turn into an attachment, or eventually turn into some sort of like entity that is now like clung to you, but it's because you've depleted yourself to a place where you've now become like vulnerable to things like that. So if you're somebody that's tired a lot, or if you have like energy ups and downs a lot, you're really probably impacted by other people's stuff. If you're an empath, you know, you're impacted by other people's stuff. So cord cutting is something that's really good. I know that people get a little weird with it, because they're like, well, I don't want to cut the cords like with my mom, I don't want to cut the cords with like my boyfriend, and so they don't cut any cords because they're afraid of like severing the love or the connection there. I was in a very toxic relationship for years, and I was actually like, I used to like be weird. I was like, I don't know if I should cut the cord, because I didn't know what would happen with that person. Like, And that's how like unempowered I was at the time. But every time I did it, once I got over that, he would come back to me, you know, he'd like want to come into the room and give me a hug and like record up, you know. It was like he could sense that I was like energetically pulling away, but he'd be nice to me. So it reset the energy, and you can do that. Another thing was like when my mom was sick in the hospital, I was, you know, going there every day, dealing with her every day for years. This was like a thing going back and forth. And I was just being drained and depleted, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. So finally one day, the social worker was like, you need to go home and rest. So on my way home, I was like, all right, I'm going to cut the cords. So I cut the cords, and I like felt that energy come back to me, and it was like I almost went off the road. That's how intensely powerful it was. But it was because I felt bad. I was like trying to take on all of what she was dealing with. So now we're both feeling like shit for no reason, and I was like no help to her in that way. So you also want to be mindful that all you're doing is cutting the cord of like attachment or of fear or of sadness or of anger or jealousy, whatever it is. You're just releasing the negative ones. The positive ones cannot be cut. So you can't like cut your cords and then like, you know, you turn around and your boyfriend's like, I'm done with you. Or like your mom's like, I hate you. Like it's just not going to happen. And if it does, all that's going to happen is that they're going to send you another cord for you to cut. So it's really not like, it's not good. Like you don't have to be scared of it. Another thing I know that my followers may ask about is twin flames. Like if they want to cut cords with their twin flames, there's actually one main one that goes from our power center to our twin. Now some people have a twin flame soul person here in the 3D, and others have them up in the 5D and above. In the end, we all go back together with our person, okay, or like the other aspect of ourselves, because we have incarnated into a third dimensional reality. That means that we're here with duality, and we have the good and the bad, the man and the woman, the negative, the positive. We have all these things. So, you know, we have been split into this dynamic of two, and when we go back up into the higher dimensions, we come back into one. But some people are here with their counterpart in the physical, and they're actually creating cords with these people beyond just the main one. So sometimes they want to cut cords with their twin, but they can't cut the main one, just like you can't cut cords of love. Some people want to, but it's there. But I can guarantee you, like, cutting the negative ones will be good. Like, if they've hurt you, if they've done something, like, you know, your heart's been broken, cut the negative cords away so that you can reset the energy there and start to feel better. Okay, so now we've talked about all of that. Different ways you can do this is, like, dependent upon who you connect with. Like if you're somebody that resonates with star seeds and maybe you don't resonate with angels, you could call on the star seeds to assist you, you know, like the star families, like the Pleiadians. You could say, I call on the emissaries of light to please come in and assist in cutting and severing all of these ties that have been draining and depleting me, and heal any places that have like been in need of being patched back up. It doesn't matter how you say it. It doesn't matter who you call on, as long as you're intending it, because honestly, we're all the creators of our reality. We all share consciousness. We're all part of this one global consciousness or universal consciousness, but we're here in a little collective consciousness. So we usually try to tap out of this little collective consciousness into the higher dimensional awareness to have assistance in that releasing of that things, because they're not going to have any limiting beliefs or fears in regards to cutting your cords to your friend or your twin or your this or your that. They can come in and just do it for you, and you're asking for that assistance. So for some of you, most of you, that should be what you do, is just ask for assistance. Like, take it out of your hands, but also realize that it's still in your hands, because we're all part of consciousness. So really, if you don't believe in anybody, you could just call on your I Am Presence to take the power back of your energy field and say, I'm now cutting and releasing all of these ties that have been draining and depleting me, and I'm healing any places that are in need of being healed due to the like little holes that have been created through each of those cords going out. So also you could do this, like you could burn Palo Santo, you could burn sage inside of your energy field, and, you know, intend that you're filling your aura up with that energy to release and heal and cleanse and burn away anything inside of there that's not serving you. Another like protection tool that I do is like the bands of power from the MUNAY key. It's actually a process that you have to go through to get the bands put around you, but once they're there, they're fully activated, and they bounce anything off outside of you so that these cords aren't coming in and aren't connecting with you, and then you're also protected from within, so that when you do have negative thoughts and things like that, you have a place to transmute them. Each one of the bands is connected to an element, so each one of these elements can assist you in transmuting things away. So if you're having miscommunication, you give it to the band of air to get rid of the miscommunication. If you were having anger, you'd give it to the fire band to transmute that away. So those are just a couple of things, but my main way of doing it is calling on Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is my dude. I didn't go to church. I never knew anything about angels or God or this or that. I never went. I never had any of those, like christening, baptized, nothing. But as a child, I always knew who Archangel Michael was. At like 3 a.m. in the morning, I'd wake up and I'd be scared and I'd call on Archangel Michael. I didn't realize like the power of that or anything connected to it until later when I went through my awakening. I was like, wait a minute, how did I know who that was? I still don't know how I knew who it was, but I do know that he assists us a lot. And like a lot of the people who resonate with the term Blu-ray, like if you're a Blu-ray being, you grew up in like a difficult environment, you're a transmuter of things, usually you're a Blu-ray. The Blu-rays are actually connected with Archangel Michael, so it could just be an intuitive connection to him that like we're realizing that we're part of that soul fam, or like that ray, because he is from the Blu-ray. So basically, again, it's the same thing. You want to like ground yourself, and you could ground yourself just by placing both feet on the floor, or imagining like you're sending little roots down from your feet down into the ground, and just center yourself and breathe, and then say, I call on Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, please come assist me in cutting and severing all of these ties, all of these cords that have been depleting me and draining me of my energy. Some people even like to do like little scissors and imagine that they're cutting like all the cords away. Some people just imagine that he comes in with his sword of light and one big thing and it's gone. Everybody's different. However you want to visualize it, however you want to do it, it doesn't matter. It's up to you. It's the intention that counts. It's the fact that you're being sovereign and mindful over your body, your energy, and what you're doing with it. So I don't just do that. I call on Archangel Raphael too, because now I've got all those little spots. I'm like, hey, cut all the cords, but then I call on Archangel Raphael to heal and cleanse and shift all of those little spots that were like left open on the energy field. Archangel Raphael is like the angel of healing. He comes in the green ray, but he's connected to unconditional love in our heart. So even like working with crystals too, like you could, use this to patch up the energy. Just like imagine that you're infusing the energy of malachite all out throughout the inside of your aura. So now unconditional love is all up in there, and all of those little holes are being patched. You can call on Metatron to fill it up with light. You could, put rainbow light inside of there. Really, whatever you want to do. There's another practice that I learned from New Paradigm, where you like imagine you're inside your egg, and then you ask like the vacuum teams to come in and vacuum anything inside of your aura out that isn't serving you, and then fill it up with golden light and sleep in that energy. And then the next day when you wake up, ask to integrate and understand all of the information, all the downloads, have it be integrated into your conscious mind so that you're receiving every night while you're asleep, and you're waking up the next day like all good and all protected. So again, just make it your own. Make it however it feels appropriate to you to cut these cords. But just know that you can't cut cords of love. And of course, they're going to be different depending on what's going on. Like if it's something connected to a relationship, you may start getting cords from your sacral area, or your womb area, your reproductive organs and stuff like that. Or if you've got a lot of fear connected to your basic needs and survival, your root chakra could be having a bunch of things. Or if people are like, hey, you're poor, boom, it's gonna like go right there, and it's gonna hit you where it hurts in that chakra. You can have ones to the heart, throat, third eye, whatever. They're all over the place. It just really is dependent upon what you're thinking, because you're creating energetic cords against yourself sometimes, and what others are thinking, because they're creating energetic cords against you, and then what you're thinking about others, because you're also draining and depleting yourself by thinking negatively about other people. And that's why they always say, like, just forgive, because it's going to make you feel better. You're just giving your power away, like literally giving it away when you're holding on to resentment, anger, jealousy, things like that. It doesn't do anything to that person except for make you feel like shit. I mean, they may get upset that you're mad at them, but it's really doing more to you than anything. And like the daggers that you're sending at them, yeah, it's draining and depleting them, but it's doing the same thing to you. So you're better off to just cut it and let it go and not stay in that energy or that vibration. So that's my basic thing on cutting cords. If you want me to go more in depth on cord cutting, let me know. I do plan to do one about attachments and about entities and implants and things like that, because those are a little bit more advanced. And again, I feel like a lot of them come because people aren't mindful and they don't do cord cutting regularly, which you should be doing at least every day. If not, like every time you have a bad interaction, be like, let me cut that. You know, just be mindful of it, keep up with it. But also like sexual trauma. If people have gone through sexual trauma, I find that's when they start manifesting like attachments, and then like demons come in or things like that. But again, it's all consciousness. It's created through fear. It's created because people aren't coming from that place of unconditional love. So I will go into things more in depth with that in another video. I wanted to keep these short and to the point. So that is how you cut your cords. Just be mindful of them, and then, you know, even if you wanted to use like obsidian, tourmaline, jet to kind of like assist you in that, this will also ground you and protect you from other influences and things outside of yourself. But you still want to be mindful and do your cord cutting regularly, because I'm sure some get snuck in there and you probably send some out with like some not so great energy thoughts in your head. All right, it's just natural. It's what we do here. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. If you like the video, you can hit like. If you don't like it, you can hit dislike. Either way, I can find other people who do resonate with my messages. And if there's something else you'd like to learn about, throw it down in the comments. I am going to be doing a Pleiadian trance channeling again soon. So if you have questions for the emissaries, you can put them down there. But try to keep it broad so it's not just for you. Like if you want a private reading, I do offer private readings. But if you want to know something that can help more than just you, you know, put it down there. And I will get the answers for you from the emissaries of light in the next trance channeling video. If you'd like to donate, there is a link down below. If you'd like to send a deck for the times that I do the readings on here, there is a Amazon wish list down below. If you would like a private reading or a custom trance channeled meditation with sound healing and stuff like that, which you can listen to over and over and over, all of that information is down below. I do automatic writing, I do the cards, I do trance, and I am now offering the meditations too. And my website's down there too if you want to check out the other things that I offer. So I think that is it. Thank you very much, and MUNAY. Namaste.